and
let's begin.
Let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to Midnight Movie Distillery movie trailer review.
Ooh,
so
I
that's
like this.
MTR.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow.
Just a lot of
You've been thinking that all day, right?
Yes,
New
tried
segment.
to.
We're
It
trying
took
it
me a
out.
while.
We're going to see how it
Trying
works
out some
out.
stuff and some new stuff.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
And I'm Lon Black.
Yeah.
And what movie are we going to watch today, guys?
So today we're going to watch the trailer for Exorcist Believer. For the regular viewers on this channel, I already did like kind of a mini, very mini review of this, and so I wanted.
And nobody watched it, so we're like,
Which-
hey, if you bring Lon and
No
I into
one
it,
watched
Which
we'll
was
get more
wonderful, by the way.
No, you did good.
Your review of it. I mean,
thank
Yes,
you.
it was
I
good.
thought it was.
It was so
very-
good. That's why we didn't want to do our own separate.
It was very well done. Your excitement levels were almost incontainable. Uncontainable? You're
Uncontainable.
uncontainable. You were just through the. I thought you were going to explode with excitement on that.
That's why it's just waste up.
Yeah, he may have. I think it was after he exploded. That's why it was so calm.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Anyway, so we're going to try this thing where we're going to do picture-in-picture, and we can't have the full sound coming out, and that's probably for copyright reasons. It's probably good anyway. So I'm going to turn
You
on
will hear it in the background.
picture-in-picture.
And I will say, I have not seen. This is trailer 2.
Correct.
So I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, I have
this
not
one
seen
yet.
trailer 2. I've seen
Okay,
trailer
so
1.
I haven't seen trailer 2 either.
I,
have
actually,
you?
actually, to be honest, I haven't seen trailer 2 either. So
Okay.
my first review was based on trailer 1, which I thought was excellent.
Okay, and I haven't seen any of the trailers for this movie yet
Okay.
myself. So
Okay.
this will be a new experience for me.
Okay.
Logan? Have you seen?
I have not seen trailer 2.
Have you seen trailer 1?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we have picture-in-picture turned on. So
got
in
it?
Theory.
There we go.
All right, so
We're
let's see if this-
technologically advanced
Let's
here.
see if this works.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
I see a room.
Jesus.
Not scrutinizing at all.
No.
All right.
Ah, there she is.
yeah.
They're bringing her right in this one.
Yeah, she was right at the end of the first one.
This Regan's got more forehead.
Yes. We're on a bad hair day.
So is it the same demon?
Technically,
Wait.
I think it's supposed to be.
So is that their way they're going to explain her out of this?
I think so.
Does Regan make a re-show in that? Does she come back in this movie?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm
I
hoping
g-
that's like a big surprise.
There's the Pazuzu.
I'll tell you what I think it is. We're born in this world with hope and dreams and a desire to be happy.
And then Pazuzu fucks you up.
Okay, so I heard there were 2 girls in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah,
As long as there's not a 1 cup.
I knew somebody was going to fuck you.
The devil has one wish,
and 1 cup.
to make us lose faith,
Okay.
to kill it in us.
Okay.
And the devil never gives up.
2 demons are better than 1.
They do.
Can't go wrong.
Or is it 1 demon possessing 2 girls?
It's 1 demon possessing 2 girls.
It
Is
is,
what
okay.
it looks like. Although even in trailer 1, they really honed in on this one.
Wow, they really twisted her face.
What you're doing here is dangerous. People have died on both sides of possession.
Come home, baby. Come back to us, okay?
If you don't make it, I don't make it.
Mama,
What is it, baby?
I can't get you.
I'm right here.
I don't want to go to hell.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you're in the wrong movie.
Interesting.
There are 2 heartbeats. Is it working? They're beating in sync.
Be strong.
They got a heartbeat from the demon?
What did you do?
One girl lives, one girl dies.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta make a choice. Yeah.
So they're saying Pazuzu's the jigsaw.
Huh?
Good
Jigsaw?
montage.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
montage.
Ah,
Oh.
there's this. There's
Yeah.
the.
I say because in this trailer 1, you heard this like all the way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I will say, first of all, very excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking this. I mean, I love the Exorcist movie, the original Exorcist movies. There were a shit ton of sequels that I didn't really care for.
No.
But this looks like it's going back to the original. They've got one of the original cast members in there. At least one. Is there more than that? Is there more than?
I think Ellen Burstyn is
I think
the only
everybody
one
else is
that's
dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
all right, but
But
you know.
Ellen Burstyn, I think, is the only one that I've certainly that you see in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe there's some big reveal.
I don't know.
That'd be cool if they brought Reagan in at the end and she's just like, you know. I don't know
They
why
might
she
be
would do
keeping that as a little
Yeah,
secret
nice little-
reveal.
I mean, it doesn't show
It's
on
supposed to be a
IMDb.
trilogy.
yeah, they've done that before,
Yeah.
where they've fooled IMDb or not given all the information for IMDb.
Right, purposely for
Right.
this reason.
for the reveal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, I don't know. I guess that's what you watched the movie for ultimately. But it's how did Ellen Burstyn get contacted? It seems weird. It's like unless she's actively on the talk show circuit talking about it.
That would be
Like, how would they know?
The only thing
to
I can
contact
think of
her?
is kind of how Pazuzu called out Marin in the original Exorcist, right? He calls out Marin, and then they bring Marin in. Like, so maybe it's going to be something like that, or they're just like,
I think it could be. I think it
Reagan's
could be.
mom. I forgot
Oh,
her
maybe
name.
she's
right,
related.
Right, they say name.
Yeah.
And they
It's
go
like,
and they find out who that is.
Do we
Yeah,
know if
so-
one of the girls is related to her though in this, like a great grandchild?
I don't know.
or
That girl
niece,
kind of
nephew,
looked
or
like
niece.
A little bit Reaganish.
Yeah, a little Linda Blairish. Maybe that's why they were focusing
Mm-hmm.
on her more. But
Yeah, it's.
I'll tell you this much: I liked this trailer more than the first one. The first one I thought was
Really?
a little cheesy, and the
Really?
teasing of the piano along the way. I'm like, okay, they kind of did that in Halloween. I know
okay.
it's the same guys, but I was kind of like, okay, I wasn't as excited. That's probably why I didn't do a review of the first trailer, because I was not very excited. This one seems a lot better. It seems more intense. It seems more
Okay.
up the alley. I did hear though the first showings of Exorcist Believer
The test showings?
audiences.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Didn't go well,
People were
really?
saying it was
Really?
not scary at all.
Oh.
So I don't know if things changed, or it's just people are desensitized now, and maybe
Well,
this is
I
going to
mean,
be like a throwback.
I
and-
will say, when you see a girl possessed that's wreathing around and stuff like that, when it was the first done with Linda Blair and she crawls down backwards and things like that, you're like, holy shit, that's never been done before. That scares the shit out of me. Now
Yeah.
it's like a demon possession
Now,
voice.
now they
is not
got to be
scary.
climbing on the ceiling.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, the point is
yeah.
at the end of it, like even with Evil Dead Rise, you know, it's you have
Which
a
I
little
finally
bit,
saw.
Oh, you did?
I finally did. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like even without what you had, obviously possession there, and you just expect a lot more now.
But it
than I
did
think
well.
you did.
Like I think they did a good job. They did make. I mean, some of that stuff was. I don't want to say it's trope, but like in Evil Dead Rise, I think they, did a good job of not overdoing certain things.
No,
so
I-
I'm hoping
I-
they do that in this one.
I totally agree. I mean, to me, Evil Dead Rise is obviously not necessarily on a par with the original, but I mean, it's like, I thought they did an amazing job on that, and so that's why I have hope for this.
Yes.
There's no reason why I have hope, but the point is, it's like I think they've just kind of realized that you have to. I don't know. Hopefully,
Evil Dead.
They've
Evil
gotta
Dead
push the
Rise.
envelope.
Right.
Evil Dead Rise is a rebirth of the franchise. to me.
Right.
That was such a phenomenal movie because they didn't follow the original,
But they were just
they
little-
gave tribute
Yeah, they
to
did
the
pay tributes,
original,
yes. Yeah.
which kept the fans from the old ones into the new. They still had some of the sayings and all that other good stuff, but it was a completely different movie. It took it out of the swamp and out of the woods and brought it into the cities.
Right.
And that's what it needed to do: expand out of the cabin.
Right, because
and they did it. It's,
but,
it's
right, because the
phenomenal.
point is, it's like, yeah, the problem with the cabin is, at the end of the day, you always leave it by going, okay, if there's so much evil going on in this cabin, why
Just
don't
don't
someone
go.
just burn the fucking
Yeah.
cabin down?
Right.
It's like
Right.
by making it so that no, it's got nothing to do with the cabin.
Right.
It's wherever they are.
Right.
So I have hope for this. I also really like. Oh my God, what's his name? Gordon Green. David Gordon.
David Gordon Green, yep.
David Gordon.
I think he's freaking awesome. It's like, I know everyone didn't necessarily like all of the last Halloween movies, but I think collectively, I thought it was
a good attempt.
It was good. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one's going to be. I believe it's rated R.
Yes.
Which I
would
think
hope
that's
so.
part of. I think that's part of what's going to hopefully
Yes, R.
create a nice surge in horror movies. At least this October and moving forward is nobody's afraid of that R-rated moniker. I don't think. I think they're saying, you know what? Who cares? Let's put it out as R, and we'll get a decent chunk, and then we'll get even more when it goes on demand, right? Like before, it was like, no, if it's R, you're cutting out a third of your audience,
Right.
if not half of it. Let's get a PG-13. No, I think this is going to be.
I think
hopefully-
those times are gone.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I think the whole time's about looking for the PG-13 or NC-17, which is worse than R.
Right.
I think
Maybe
think,
that should become commonplace. Come on, let's go.
Well, yeah, man. But the point is, it's like they're just putting it
just
out
do
there
porn
because.
with people killing each other. It's going to be
Well,
great.
NC-17 is a regular, not just for porn. But I think this is a good way. Do you think this is going to bring back the classic remakes again? Because it's sort of started, right? When I say classics, I guess Evil Dead counts as a classic because it's that old now. But
Absolutely.
super classics like Exorcist and, any of the
Well,
other
they already tried it with
late
Halloween.
70s, early 80s one.
Well, the problem is they
late
keep they
70s.
keep trying it with Halloween.
Well,
Yeah.
and the issue with that is you could have probably done away with maybe one, max, maybe two movies instead of trying to squish things into a trilogy and try and. I think that's the other issue is I'm hearing this is a trilogy too.
Well, but
So-
see, to me, it's like actually I have lesser of an issue with that because to me, I would far sooner.
Because you're a consumer and you want to pay as much as possible
You
to go
whore.
watch
I
movies.
You're
I
a
pay for
whore.
nothing. But
we won't
pay
talk about
for
that.
nothing.
We won't talk about that.
but like I don't mind the idea of saying, hey, I'm a filmmaker and I'm creating a storyline that has an end. I think part of the problem with some of the classic franchises of Jason and Freddy and even obviously Halloween is just that need to leave just a little bit open because you've got to there's an expectation of a sequel.
Sure, and that's what I like about The Exorcist. You can do that and have completely different casts, right? Like so,
Well,
because
that's the whole
it's a
point.
possession, so it could be
Right.
Joe Blow down the street next
At
time.
the end of the day, if you believe that kind of shit, like the devil isn't going anywhere. It's like you may get
He
this,
sometimes goes down to Georgia.
apparently with his
Looking for
violin. Soul to take.
Thank you. Soul of Steel, yeah.
Soul to.
Well, go ahead. Finish
No.
your thought.
Oh, so all I was going to say is at the end of the day, it's like the most you're doing is you're exercising this demon from
Wow.
this person.
Yep.
In other words, it's
just wanted to work that in
But
there.
It's an end of story.
Yes.
But let's face it, there's a ton of exorcism movies out there.
Right.
It's its own genre.
Of course.
There's ghosts, there's monsters, there's
There's
exorcism.
So they've
Well,
got big
possession.
they got big shoes to fill.
Paranormal activity and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So it's its own genre of things. So there's so much out there. Do you think that a possession movie, even though it does have the moniker of a classic movie, it's a remake. It's not even a remake. It's a sequel of sorts, right?
Yep.
It's a legitimate sequel because they've got the rights to do it and everything like that. But it's not going to be the same movie. It's not going to be the same shock value because now the market is saturated with possession movies. Do you think this is going to make any difference in that dent just because it has the exorcism or exorcist name to it?
I think it's going to bring in the new audiences, and that's
Right.
all they really are looking
all they care
for at
about.
this point.
Bringing the new audiences to appreciate the original?
No. Well,
What is it bringing them into?
it's bringing them into the fold now of, okay, you've seen the original, we're going to up the ante, right? Like, that's what they should be doing. I don't know if they're going to do that with this. I feel like this is just me being speculative, but
You're
I feel
hoping
like
they up the ante.
what they're going to do is they're going to up the ante just a little bit. They're
Well-
going to stay true to the first, the original Exorcist, but they're going to up the ante a little bit, and then they're going to try and continue seeing if, at least what I think they should do is the second one up the ante even more. Third one should just be balls to the wall, see what happens.
Then each one's got a top.
Everybody's
the
stabbing
previous
themselves in
one.
the
That's
crotch
gonna
with a
be tough.
crucifix, whatever.
Right. I mean,
Sorry.
I think that any producer that is thinking of doing a remake or a sequel or whatever is obviously hoping that the movie that they're going to create, they're going to bring in certain number of the audience that saw the original and is looking to see what the new version is, and then. To what you just said, it's like, but they're also obviously hoping that they're going to bring in a whole bunch of new people into it. Now, obviously it's very easy to do that and fall flat on your face, and I don't know. We'll see.
Well-
I don't think. I think having the Exorcist moniker has a certain cachet to it, and I have a good feeling about this.
Would it have a
Okay, so
stigmata?
I've got something to say about that. So,
Stigmata.
I think part of my I won't say it's my problem with this because I don't have a problem. I'm excited to see the movie. The trailer looked good, but when they did Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, there were things in there nobody saw before, and it became a cult classic, right? They remade it and upped the ante in 2014. They remade Evil Dead as an actual horror movie, no comedy. It was horror, straight up horror and gore, and it was wild. It so much went over the top, and things people had never seen before, and the blood, the amount of blood and everything, and it still stayed in that cabin atmosphere, and it still gave you the creeps and the whole thing. But they really outdid themselves on that one.
Having that said, do you think with the Exorcist Believer that they're gonna go for blood? Because there was not much, if any, blood in
I didn't
the
see any
original,
blood
right?
in the trailer either. The trailer didn't seem very bloody, so they go for more of the visceral. Well, maybe not the visceral, the opposite, the more of the psychological scares.
Yeah, and that's what the original was. You know, and it was like the original had very little blood. I mean, they had lots of vomit, but
well,
I mean, it's,
there was a good amount of blood in there when she took the cross and was stabbing herself with the cross, things like that. There was blood, but just not a lot.
Can you reenact that for me?
Just
I don't remember that scene.
But my point of that is then because when they did it, when they went over the top and they made it into an actual horror movie instead of just a comedy horror movie, it was very well received. It was still a damn good movie. And then they came out with Evil Dead Rise, and you're like, oh, how are they going to top the other one? And then the story was just phenomenal. The tie-ins were phenomenal.
They took it out of the cabin.
And they took it out of the cabin, and they still went over the top with it. They still topped the last one, the 2014 remake. And so what I'm worried about is, with that kind of stuff, with the gore, they have it so much more open to gore and blood and jump scares and psychological thrills and everything, the whole gambit. This is tied back to possession and scariness. So how many twisted, broken bones on a child can you see before it's not scary anymore? How much black in the mouth and vomit coming out of their mouth and them saying, I'm going to get you, before it becomes nothing?
I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, in other words, it's that thing of, like, and you even saw it in the trailer. Anytime you have a possession movie, especially when it's a possession movie with kids, you always get the like, help me, mommy, help me, mommy, you know, and then all of a sudden a pause, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up the ass,
right?
You know,
I'm actually the demon,
right?
Tricked you.
But mommy, I am your daughter,
right?
But so you're right. I mean, there's no, in theory, there's no real shock value in that kind of switch back and forth of, I'm really your daughter. Help me, please help me.
Right.
And now I'm the devil or the demon or whatever. I think there's still lots of room for jump scares. I think there's still lots of suspense that can happen. Even though I mean, the problem with most movies is at the end of the day, especially a movie like this where you know that it's going to be the franchise is going to continue, the end of the movie cannot be the end of the
right.
Yeah, that's what I don't like.
It's a trilogy.
I would almost prefer they don't announce that it's a trilogy. Just say we've got a new movie coming out. You know, if it does well, yeah, we'd like to, but we're not even focused. But they just immediately was like, nope, there's another trilogy coming out.
Okay,
and
so
that kind of threw me off.
Okay, so here's something else with back to the Evil Dead, because to me the Evil Dead remakes,
I don't think he liked that movie
are the roadmap that other people should take to do a sequel. You've got to have an original great story with just some little tiebacks to the original,
right?
Or some homage to the original. Don't try to follow the original. Capture that same atmosphere and that feeling.
I get that feeling from this one.
Do you?
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is I feel like they gave away a big reveal in this one. The one kid must die and one kid must
live. Yeah.
So to me, that was like shit. That would have been a really cool plot twist that they could have left out of the trailers.
But maybe it doesn't end up that way. You don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
but
I got a feeling that could be a way they could at least extend it into the next one.
So you got a little more Sophie's Choice thought in the whole thing.
Yeah. And to be honest, you know, it's like a real throwback. It's like when you think Knock at the Cabin. It's. I wonder whether it's also one of these things where that's what the demon wants you to do, because he wants you to see the evil side of the parent that has to pick which parent is, you know, which kid is gonna live and which kid is gonna die. Where in reality, you know, that's not true at all. but let's just play that forward and
Yeah.
see
I could almost,
who's the
I could
actor.
almost
Well-
even see them just because I'm not sure if Ellen Burstyn signed on for the other two. I could almost see her kind of pulling a Father Karras and having the demon go into her and her. That'd be a nice throwback. But I hope I didn't just ruin
The only
movie.
effect is if she dies in
Yeah.
one of the first two movies.
Yeah, I agree. I think
She kinda has
I think
to.
she is brought back to provide that link to the original.
Yeah.
But she's one and done. It's like I don't see her
I
continuing
agree.
the path.
I agree.
It'd be cool if they did her in 1, Barely in 2, Reagan in 3, Linda Blair in 3.
Yeah.
That would be
If Linda Blair is still alive in this, or Reagan's still alive in this, I don't know if she is in this universe or not. But that would be kind of
bring
cool.
her back as the twin sister they
And she,
never
like-
told you about.
Yeah, yeah.
That never
look at
happened.
that, she's
But
possessed too.
But that brings up another good point. So the thing with a sequel is, a lot of times back in the old days, back in the
1902,
80s, when they were
according to you.
cranking out the sequels, because if Freddy Krueger does great, let's bring out a Freddy Krueger 2. Let's do a
Right.
sequel to it. They whipped it out. They didn't, let's whip together a story that they did. Whip out together a story, throw in some actors, throw in some jokes, throw in some more blood.
Excuse
and
me
you're
while
good.
I whip this out.
Right? And the sequels kind of sucked back then.
Right.
Right? They get more
But
appreciation
that was,
now for
do you
some
think
of
that
them,
was
but-
because they were rushed though? Like
yes,
that, I feel
absolutely.
Like, I
but
feel
here's
like,
my point. Here's my point. Let me finish this thought.
No.
Is
Sorry, go ahead.
Logan, you son of a bitch. The point is, in order to do a good sequel, you need to start with a good story, throw in tropes to the old ones. You got to have good acting. If you can bring in a cast member from the old ones, great.
Or two.
That doesn't always make the difference, and good directing.
Right.
And that's a lot of loose pieces. Anything goes wrong with any one of those pieces, and the movie's going to suck.
Yeah. Well, and that's where when I heard the bad news about the test audiences, I feel like that's where that whole trilogy thing comes in. I am not anticipating this to be.
Did they
this
announce it?
Huge, spectacular. Yeah, I
it
believe
was a
after
trilogy?
they started making it, they said, "Yeah, this is definitely going to be a trilogy." So,
Okay.
so to me, that's where I'm wondering if that's why those test audiences were like, "This wasn't that scary." Well, yeah, because it's building those characters up. Because first one's going to be character building, a few jump scares, a little
I
bit.
would
You know,
hate that.
I know, I get
I
it.
would hate that.
But that's where I was saying, stop with the trilogy. You
Yeah.
know, blow your wad in the first one, then
But-
clean up in the second one.
But let me throw in this. So back to Evil Dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But in Evil Dead Rise, that's a trilogy.
Find another movie. No, I'm just
But
kidding.
no, but that's a trilogy.
Sure.
However, that first movie stands alone. There's a beginning and an end to it. Yes, there's a left open thing where it continues to somebody else, but that story in the apartment building started and ended.
Right, I think one
It's a
can
standalone
one
movie as
can
well.
hope, like you cannot have. I never say never, I guess, because I'm sure someone
Never
I'm sure
say
someone
never.
can do it the correct way. But like you could not generally have a horror movie that has a part 1 and a part 2. You know, in other words,
Agreed.
I think you can
distinctively.
nowadays.
Right,
But
right,
not
but-
where you
but-
leave it, not where it's a cliffhanger
come back
at the end
next
of it.
year,
Right.
and watch
Or
part 2.
2 years or 3 years like they
it's
do
like
with-
you have to be able to finish that horror movie where there's at least a conclusion. I think it's okay to leave something open, and you know, obviously not that they ever really followed up on it, but like, you know, the classic always goes back to Carrie. Of like the hand coming out the grave at
Sure.
the very end.
Sure.
It's I think
But that's one of those questions.
they also-
ooh, is she still alive? Was it a dream? Is
Exactly,
it a sequel? Is
it could have been a
not?
dream
right.
sequence.
So I think if it's done back to your point, I think if it's done well, you know, I think you can do things and leave open the thank you, and leave open the story for a
Of
sequel
course.
and all these kind
Of course,
things.
but
The only
finish
time I
that
feel like,
story.
Right.
Yeah, but see, like, kind of, they did it a little bit with the Halloweens, but like, I feel like with the Marvel universe, what they did was they recorded and they had, you know, what was it, 4 or 5 hours or whatever, and then they just said, okay, we're splitting it. So you knew ahead of time, but there wasn't. They were able to. Now, granted, they're obviously a huge franchise, so they were able to do that. But that would be something like if they said, hey, we're filming Exorcist 1 and 2, Believer and non-believer. I don't know, whatever. I think they did name the second
Oh,
one. I
if they
can't remember
named the
what they
second one
called it.
non-believer, I swear.
No, it wasn't. It was
maybe,
like
maybe it's Believer.
yeah. But yeah, if you
Believer.
said, hey, you know what? There was just so much content that we had to split it into 2.
Yeah, that's
or had to
that-
split
that's-
it in 3. If the first 2 do well. But I honestly feel like they were taking numbers and saying, we estimate this thing's going to pull in probably $200 million first weekend. Maybe even 3. And so let's make the first one. We'll start the second one, a little bit after it goes out, because then we'll know what kind of budget we can work with. And that's what I don't like, is now it's becoming, technically a franchise, but it's becoming something more than just it's numbers at this point. And I don't like that. I want it to be like, let's get a good movie out there.
But again, it depends on the storyline.
Correct.
If they can wrap up a story and then maybe lead into a second story, then it can work.
Yeah.
Another example that's not Evil Dead would be It.
Yeah.
When they did It, everybody knows there's 2 movies to It.
Right.
But the first one, when they were kids, wrapped up. It could have ended there, and it would have been, and it was a good movie on its own.
Yep.
The second one, where he comes back, can be a standalone movie.
Sure.
If they never made one and they only released 2, it's still a standalone movie. You have to do a little catch up with the whole what happened to kids, but they even do flashbacks.
Add mustard in there, and you're good.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
That was a link to catch
Wow.
up, by the way, for those who missed it.
Wow.
They caught it. Believe
Wow.
me.
I
Did you ever hear
I don't think
dad
they
jokes?
did.
That you were like you were like a walking dad.
I
joke.
am.
Well, so is
more like a
Warwick,
Walking
I-
Dead joke.
I
but-
am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And proud of it.
Well, I
I think we've gone at 25.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I think we're doing good on this one, but I will say, ultimately, the trailer was good for me, for you, for me, Doug, for you.
Yep.
I think it was a good trailer. I'm gonna watch it. I
I'm
just
excited.
am
I'm
nervous
definitely
as
gonna see
hell
it.
that it's gonna suck.
I'm more excited for it. I'm not as nervous that it's going to suck. The first trailer, I understand it was kind of a teaser. They were trying to just get it out there, but I that one made me very nervous. But this one seems better. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and I think for my thing, having seen both now, I was all in with the first trailer.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, it's like now, if you haven't seen either of it, you just watched the second one, I would watch the first one as well, because to me, together, I think they give me hope. They really do.
Well,
I'm
okay.
in general, I don't like trailers, only for the fact that I think they often give way too much away. But it's but yeah, I'm hopeful.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Thanks
with
for
that,
watching,
heard it here.
everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This is our trailer episode. We'll
Yeah.
be doing another trailer.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what you think.
MTR.
Yeah, whatever.
New
I
trailer
tried
episode.
it.
Let us know what you think. Do you like? We want to know. We've got I don't know, about 10 or so people who follow us now. We
we're
want
up
to
to
know
50, by
I think
the way.
we
which
hit
do you enjoy more? Are we really?
Yeah, we have 50.
Oh, we are
subscribers.
superstars.
Yeah.
50?
It's crazy.
We got to start
wanna
looking
know-
at monetization. All right.
We want to know which you prefer. Do you like the bourbon reviews, the movie reviews,
Do you like
the
'em all?
trailer reviews?
Which you
Which
should.
do you like better? Which do you want to see more of? Which do you want to see less of? Or hey, just keep showing me Warwick's pretty face.
You are stuck with us.
Let us
three,
know.
though.
Yes.
That doesn't change.
And by the way, I do not want to promote this video on whatever channel keeps telling us to promote it on their channel.
Is that the
What?
one from India?
It's the one from me.
Oh, that one.
Okay.
What? He's got a channel he wants us to promote it on?
Yeah, there's some like.
I don't know, if we get really desperate.
Is that why he said he was-
every single video is the very first comment is promote on, and it's like some like music
Delete those.
video thing, whatever.
Delete those.
Anyway.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Social media. Come
Love you
follow
guys.
us. Tell us what you think. We love you.
See you again in a little bit.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, in a week, whatever.